When I say that Lil Mo has been up in Mary J. Blige's Cedar Chest getting all of her My Life wigs. I done seen so many wigs from the My Life era, I don't know what to do. Last week she had on her Be Happy wig. Like, what's next? She gonna have on her damn I'm Going Down wig and her You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman wig. She gonna have all that, right? So that's all I really had to open up this video to say. This is my review on R&B Divas LA, whatever. So let's just get into the beginning. I got my notes. So here we go. I want to start off with Lil Mo talking to Claudette about her divorce with Philip. And I guess she talked to Claudette because she was the perfect person to talk to about the situation. Because, you know, Claudette went through a divorce of her own and it involved like 3 kids. And with Lil Mo having 4, I'm sure that Claudette understood where it was coming from. And, you know, Lil Mo it's weird because when he was just on the show last year, it was kind of like they had this solid foundation. I think I said that on last week's video, but then all of a sudden he turned out to be this bad person. So I really don't get how the hell they ended up being in a predicament that they ended up being in. Like, that's really weird. Like, how can you wake up one day and say, motherfucker, I ain't in love with you no more? Like, I ain't never heard of no shit like that. So that was really weird. But, you know, different fucks for different folks, might I add. So then we get into Chrisette Michelle, and she performs at the Savoy, which is where Piggly Wiggly Price used to have all of her shows at. And you know, she was performing, and Shantae had already informed her and Leela James that the sound at the Savoy is not always the best. You got to have the best sound manager to have the best sound. And Chrisette was already going through some things backstage because she was not going to go on as scheduled, so that pissed her off. And, you know, they did this as a favor for the person that owns the Savoy or whatever. And her mama was going the fuck off saying, this is what we get for trying to do this man a favor and coming to the ghetto or whatever. And, you know, at first I felt like Chrisette is not too big to be on R&B Divas LA, but just watching her on this show and listening to the things that she's saying, it is kind of like she doesn't fit the mold of what R&B Divas is pretty much about. See, Chrisette has a career that's doing pretty well right now. My tweet's going off. She has a career that's doing pretty well right now. You know, she just had got nominated for a Grammy at that point in time. So, and these other girls haven't been doing anything, but Chrisette has a career right now. So, you know, I kind of understand now why people were saying that, because I was like, well, I don't see why people thinking that Chrisette Michelle is way too big for the show. But now that I look at it, she kind of is. It took me a while to see that. So, let's see what's next. So, let's talk about Shantae. She asked Lil Mo and Claudette and Leela to do a song with her. It's like a bonus track off the album that she released last year. And, it was an idea that her and her manager was discussing with the producer. They was talking about the momentum of her gospel song, Jesus, I Want You, and how it was charting or whatever. And this was this bonus track that they did not put on the album, and they wanted to make it a girl anthem since all the girls are done with the diva logs. So she asked Lil Mo, Claudette, and Leela to, not Lil Mo, Claudette, Lil Mo, Leela, and Chrisette to be a part of it. Not Claudette, but Chrisette to be a part of it. So, they all agreed to do it. So, we get into Lil Mo talking to her kids, and this was the most touching scene, one of the touching scenes out of this whole episode, one of the 2 touching scenes. She sat down and she told her kids about the divorce, and it was pretty much hard to watch because I've never been in no predicament where my mama got to sit down and tell me that she finna divorce my daddy, because my mother and father weren't together for most of my life. I think they were only together the first 2-3 years of my life, and I hardly even remember all this shit. So I don't know how it feels to be a child, you know, at a young age, watching your parents go through a divorce. And watching this episode, it is the truth. Parents seem to think that they can hide shit from you, and they can't. My mother is the biggest offender. She be going through shit, and I can see it in her damn face, and she won't even tell me what the fuck she got going on in her life. Like, you can walk around and you can ask her, you know, Mama, what's going on? Nothing. No, girl, don't play me. I know when something wrong. Like, parents think that they can hide shit from their kids, and you can't. We see everything. I'm 25 years old, and I can just walk around the house, And if I know when my mama ain't in a bad mood, I know my mama feeling some type of way, I know this. Just like she claims that she know when I'm feeling some type of way, it's the same way. We all know when you feeling some type of way. So you can't lie or whatever. And sometimes parents don't even be smiling, but they expect the child to just say, you know what, she say she fine, don't worry about it. But we all know as your children, when shit is fucked up, we already know that. And with Lamo bringing that to the forefront, it is the truth. Parents need to stop lying to their kids because we already know what's going on. You think we don't know? It's not the fact that y'all think we're dumb, but y'all think we don't know, but we know what's going on. And they told, her daughter had text messages and she sent it to someone saying that she didn't want to be miserable like Mo, and then she don't even like her soon-to-be ex-husband. It was pretty crazy, but that was touching to see in my opinion. So the girls meet up with the person that Claudette is working with for this Puerto Rican project that they're doing. And Lil Mo thought that they were just gonna go out to hang out, relax, and get a tan and shit like that. But they're actually out there to work. They got to do a song, they got to do a commercial, they got to perform it, they got to do all that. And Lil Mo was asking about the coin, like I knew she would. This type of shit I be asking about. If you got me doing all this work, what the money looking like? You know what I'm saying? So the girls, this was a lighthearted scene. The girls went to go take Leela to get her first tattoo, and Lord knows she cried about it, but she said she would never get another tattoo. So Michelle A does her PSA for suicide for the Tony Cornelius Foundation or whatnot, because Don Cornelius died of suicide. He killed himself, and that was pretty touching to me. Because I've spoken about my suicide attempt myself last year, because it was this young boy that was in middle school. I never met him personally, but my mother knew his cousin because my mother works at the post office and she used to work with his older cousin. She told my mother about it, and that prompted me to make a video because he was bullied in school. He wanted to kill himself, and I spoke candidly about my situation with suicide and how it affected me and how it sometimes still affects me. Like, I've had my thoughts of suicide or whatever. And to see Michelle A go through that, people don't even realize how serious it is. When you're talking about killing yourself, when you at that lowest of the low, that is the lowest place you could ever be when you want to end your life. That ain't no shit to play with. I know all about it. It's no shit to play with. When you talking about ending your life, that means you want this shit to be over. You ain't talking about hurting yourself. You talking about dying. You want to be done with this shit. That's what the fuck that shit is. So that was touching to see. Now we get into the studio session at the very end with Shantae, Chrisette, Lil Mo, and Leela. They was all under the impression that they were going to write a verse and they were all going to sing a part in the song. But when it came down to it, they only singing backup. So of course they felt some type of way about the situation. They felt like they were being misled, which I would have felt the same way. And I like Shantae, but that was like a fucked up ass move. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't ask these girls to be a part of the song and y'all talk about writing and all of that shit, but then you turn around and say, oh, I just want y'all to sing back up. You can't do that, Shantae. Like, these are women that write their own shit and they was ready to sit down and write a song, but it comes off like you wanted to use their names and get people to buy the goddamn song and, and you didn't want nobody to take no money out of your publishing checks. So that's how it felt to me watching it, and it seemed fucked up. You can't just sit up here and ask these girls to sing background and think that you're not gonna get no damn, backlash from it. But I did understand what Leela was saying, you know what I'm saying? Okay, you about to sing back up. Who the fuck cares? Let's just do this shit. We already agreed to it, which is true. But I did understand Lil Mo and Chrisette's concerns. Lil Mo ain't sung back up since '98 with Missy. Chrisette ain't never sung back up on no damn track. And I don't know much about Leela James or her music or her musical background. But you know what I'm saying? They used to singing lead vocals at this point in time. So with Shantae saying this shit at this moment, it did come off to be shady and fucked up. I'm not saying that Shantae is shady and fucked up, but that certain situation made the situation look shady and fucked up. So with that being said, that's my review on R&B Divas LA. The show will be picking up next week, and I cannot wait to see what happens. So I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.